Tonight on 7 News, he is furious and ready for a fight. Kyle erupts over his sacking while Jackie stays oh so quiet.
The PM calls an emergency meeting of National Cabinet as the petrol crisis starts to feel like COVID.
Iran strikes near an Australian airbase in Dubai. No one was hurt, but it was close.
Police hunt 3 more suspects over the kidnapping and murder of Sydney grandfather Chris Bagzarian.
The boom on Sydney's public transport sparked by the petrol crisis, including record numbers on the metro.
Sparks fly as Sydney cops a drenching, and there's plenty more on the way.
And the Matildas about to arrive in Sydney after booking a place in the Asian Cup final.
Live from Sydney, this is 7 News with Angela Cox and Mark Ferguson.
Good evening. After weeks of drama and controversy, Carl Sandilands is now spoiling for a nasty and expensive court battle after being formally sacked. The Australian radio network kissing its biggest star goodbye.
As expected, he's not going quietly, refusing to accept the decision that officially spells the end of the Kyle and Jackie O show.
Her radio contract shredded, but leaving a Bondi salon today, Jackie O still looks $1 million.
Any plans to start your own radio, Jackie?
Oh, no.
And can still put on a show.
Astrology show?
Carl Sandilands can too, performing one job on Australian Idol last night.
And for now, I still have the other job.
But not for long. By early morning on the ARN website, where its 2 SAC stars are smiling bright, confirmation his contract was toast. As a result, the Kyle and Jackie O show will no longer be presented.
It's a history-making day for us.
FM radio has never known anything like it. No one has lasted longer, rated higher or made more money. But after its Melbourne misfire, constant controversy and an advertiser boycott, ARN had heard enough.
Big deal.
Sandilands unleashed in a statement today. "I don't accept it," he wrote. "I've done everything ARN asked. They didn't want to fix this, so it's over to my lawyers."
They'll go to mediation, then they'll probably have to consider court.
Sandilands is chasing a contract payout of up to $90 million. Lawyers are betting on $20 million.
Something between $17 to $22 million is probably a reasonable amount.
The same for Jackie O, who's now also looking to sue. But after last month's bust-up, the two are talking.
But I also do believe that she has no desire to actually work with him again.
As for Kyle, who spent the day holed up at his Vaucluse bunker,
I don't think another network is going to pick him up. I think it's too problematic. I think his next destination will be a subscription podcast.
Once you're out of radio, all you can do is sell socks at Lowe's. At Lowe's!
ARN's share price was today unmoved as investors sit tight. Its megastars and their mega salaries now off the books. But the next big question is the audience about to walk as well.
It's quite devastating.
I also kind of believe that they are way past their prime.
There are a lot of those listeners now who don't quite know where to go because there is no other show that is like it.
And while Kyle and Jackie O's 700,000 Sydney listeners aren't happy, neither are the show's staff who reportedly learnt about today's news on Breakfast TV. Management did email them later in the morning. Their fate is still unknown. Now, Kiss announcer Mike Etheridge is set to fill in for the rest of the week as ARN Media scramble to fill in that cast. And while the first radio ratings drop of the year is set to come tomorrow, it'll only take into account January and February when Kyle and Jackie O were still on air.
Sam Payne, thank you. Anthony Albanese has summoned Chris Minns and every other state and territory leader to thrash out a response to Australia's fuel crisis. As the Middle East war puts our economy under real threat, the government is now bracing for a worst-case scenario.
At a suburban Melbourne servo,
this guy just filled up like $810 worth of diesel in this barrel.
$812.03, the Bowser says, for 320 litres.
My message to Australians as well is to not take more fuel than you need. That is how you can help. Think of others.
A message that isn't getting through to everyone, as he calls an emergency meeting of National Cabinet for tomorrow.
Making sure that we deal with the issues that Australia and indeed the world is confronting.
The biggest issue, fuel supplies. The meeting to appoint a national fuel czar to coordinate the distribution of supplies with representatives in each state, prioritising rural areas.
We do have fuel security. All of our ships have arrived at this point in time, but we've had a surge in demand.
The Premier's wanting two things.
Information and affordable fuel. That's what we need.
That, as Treasury warns, the global impact of this war could blow a multi-billion-dollar hole in the federal budget. Predicting it will wipe between 0.2 and 0.6% of GDP, $6 to $16 billion, as interest rates rise for the second straight month and the Reserve Bank governor warns if inflation keeps climbing, a recession is possible.
Australia is well positioned.
The point that the Reserve Bank's forecasts make is that they're not anticipating a recession, nor is the government.
But are you spending too much? Because every man and his dog is saying that.
Well, we're looking for more savings.
And now, in the fog of war, needs to find more. One positive development, European Commission head Ursula von der Leyen will visit Australia next week, raising hopes that she'll finally formalise a rich trade deal with Europe in Canberra on Tuesday. Beef, dairy and sugar have long been the sticking points, but a desire on both sides to build new alliances as a hedge to Donald Trump's tariff walls seem to have put those concerns on the shelf. An agreement worth $10 billion a year to Australia for farmers, manufacturers and the government. One sweet deal.
Yeah, a silver lining. Mark Riley in Canberra, thank you. An Australian airbase has become the apparent target of an Iranian strike, and not for the first time.
A projectile striking right by the Al Minhad airbase in the UAE, causing damage to some of its facilities. The Prime Minister insists everyone is safe, but it's dragged our country even closer to the conflict.
As Iran's fury engulfs the Middle East, the UAE hit by more than 2,000 drones and missiles in 18 days. At 2:15 this morning, one slammed into a road outside Al Minhad near Dubai. Our Middle East headquarters, the base housing about 100 Australians, the fire damaged medical and accommodation facilities.
I can confirm that no Australian personnel were injured and everyone is absolutely safe.
This after a drone struck the base earlier in the conflict. And Australia has been caught in a very different burst of fury from President Trump. Incensed, Western governments turned down his calls for a naval coalition to reopen the Strait of Hormuz. Most of our NATO allies don't want to get involved. We no longer need the NATO countries' assistance. We never did. Likewise, Japan, Australia or South Korea. We do not need the help of anyone.
I think NATO's making a very foolish mistake, and I've long said that, I wonder whether or not NATO would ever be there for us. So this was a great test, because we don't need them, but they should have been there.
I thought it was a petulant post from a president under immense pressure.
I'm not aware of any specific formal request for us to send ships into the Strait of Hormuz. It's not something that we've been considering.
Tim Lester, 7 News.
And let's go live once again to Chief Reporter Chris Reason in the Middle East. Chris, America's very close ally in this war, Israel, is now claiming a valuable scalp.
Yeah, Mark, as Donald Trump cops the political heat back home and the anger of allies abroad here in Israel, the Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and the IDF, the Israeli army, continue their relentless chase of what remains of Tehran's leadership. 2 leaders killed overnight in these latest of the Israeli assassination strikes. One of them considered to be the de facto boss of Iran in the absence of the new Ayatollah, but their removal might have just set back any chance of a breakthrough in the peace process. Ali Larijani 5 days ago brazenly walking Tehran's streets, almost daring the Israelis to target him. They did. Tonight, the security chief confirmed dead, along with the chief of the Basij secret police, wiped from the Israeli Prime Minister's assassination list.
It's a punch card. Today, I raised 2 names on the punch cards. and you see how many more to go.
Larijani's seen as a moderate by some, a potential deal maker, but also considered responsible for ordering the deaths of thousands of protesters in January.
One of their top person was, they say, a lot of people say their actual top was killed yesterday.
But today, the US president facing losses from his own administration. Joe Kent, counter-terrorism boss and MAGA recruit, resigning in protest. Iran posed no imminent threat to our nation, he said. We started this war due to pressure from Israel. It didn't stop the onslaught on Iran overnight, a person targeted from above in Tehran. One former Israeli Special Forces soldier telling 7 News they are trained to be ruthless, uncompromising.
In my 12 years in Special Forces, I always go bam, 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 bam. Each bullet has an address.
In Lebanon, Israel hitting more claimed Hezbollah targets, but the death toll now over 900. In Baghdad, retaliation. The US Embassy hit with Iranian rockets and drones. The Revolutionary Guard claiming revenge for Larijani's death. On Israel, they launched a barrage of multiple warhead missiles, 2 killed, a couple in their 70s. Despite all the talk of Iran running low on missiles,
okay, this is our safe room.
Night after night they rained down on the region.
Can you ever be 100% safe?
Well, you can never be 100% safe. War is war.
Sydney lawyer Lisa Segelov's safe room with metal windows and a jackhammer in case they have to break themselves out. In Israel, Chris Reason, 7 News.
2 days after Sydney grandfather Chris Bagzarian was laid to rest, police have now released new pictures of a group they're hunting over the bungled kidnapping and shocking murder. 2 people have already been charged, but detectives believe many more were involved.
Hoodies on, faces covered, a torch lights up 3 men walking towards one of Sydney's darkest crime scenes, the empty Dural home where 85-year-old Chris Bagzarian was mutilated and murdered.
I just don't think there is a sadder case that we have seen. I assure you that police are working on this.
Releasing these images of the group they're trying to locate, along with this blue Hyundai missing a hubcap. It was seen arriving and leaving Wildthorn Avenue the day after the grandfather was mistakenly kidnapped from his North Ryde home.
You have the wrong person. You tell us where he is, we'll do the rest.
His body later dumped.
Police! Search warrant!
2 men have already been charged with murder as investigators cast the net wider to find others involved. It's not just who these 3 men are that detectives are now trying to work out, but also exactly what role each of them played that night when Mr. Bagzarian was tortured and murdered inside an abandoned house just a few hundred metres up this road. There are 16 security cameras along this street, more evidence police hope will lead to more arrests.
Every person who is involved in this atrocious kidnapping, this terrible crime, we want to make sure they're behind bars, so please help us.
Andrew Denny, 7 News.
It didn't last long, but it sure left its mark. An early morning storm smashed suburbs in Sydney's north and east, sending streets underwater. And don't put your brolly away. It's not over yet.
Sparked by rain, a power pole in North Curl explodes.
So when we got up, came up and had a look, the pole was on fire up the top, and with the sparkling bit was just totally on fire.
A relentless deluge, the likely cause. Striking around 2 a.m, it was quick but extreme, pounding the northern beaches and eastern suburbs.
It was pretty solid. It's about as heavy a rainfall as you can get.
In Bondi, streets went under. New South Head Road, Rose Bay, a rapid. Wakehurst Parkway shut at Oxford Falls, no teeing off at Manly Golf Club with lakes in the middle of the course, greens at Harbord Bowls Club more like swimming pools, Manly Lagoon flowing out to sea.
Definitely no surfing today, water's filthy.
All that water runoff has made the beaches quite murky. Queenscliff Beach here is one of several in the city's north deemed unsuitable for swimming due to high pollution. Mossman copped the brunt, 130 millimetres of rain to 9 a.m, and it's not over yet with more wet days ahead.
Definitely a good idea to bring a brolly and a jacket just in case.
Rex Quayle, 7 News.
The man responsible for one of Australia's most disturbing double murders is now fighting to have his life sentences reduced. Daniel Holdom killed young mother Carly Pearce-Stevenson before dumping the body of her 2-year-old daughter in a suitcase. The sentencing judge called his crimes depraved, but now Holdom claims the punishment was excessive.
Goulburn Supermax Prison is saved for the worst of the worst. Daniel Holdom fell into that category when he murdered Carly Pearce-Stevenson and her daughter Candice.
A murder of extreme gravity and appalling depravity.
In December 2008, Holdom drove Carly to Belanglo State Forest, Ivan Milat's hunting ground, sexually abusing her before stomping on her throat.
He compounded this further when he took photographs of his unspeakable mistreatment, which he kept as a vile trophy of his own inhumanity.
4 days later, Holdom suffocated Candice at a hotel near Wagga, stuffing her body in a suitcase that he dumped on the side of a remote South Australia highway 1,200 kilometres from where her mother was killed. It would take advancements in DNA to link mother and daughter. Carly was first found in 2010, Candice 5 years later. Daniel Holdom believes his life sentences are excessive considering he pleaded guilty. The plea goes beyond the mere preparation of the trial, but also the trauma associated to all the parties that would be working on it, including the police, the DPP, and to the family of the deceased. But from the victim's family today, he deserves to spend every remaining day of his life in prison for what he did to our family. Carly was loved. Candice was loved. They have never been forgotten, and they never will be. It's been over 7 years since Daniel Holdom was sentenced, and only now is his appeal being heard. 7 News understands he approached a number of lawyers who turned him down because they believed his case had no merit. He'll find out if he's successful in the coming months. Leonie Ryan, 7 News.
The major tournament glory they've craved for so long is now tantalisingly close for Sam Kerr's Matildas.
Tom Sacre joins us now, and Tom, the team has a chance to make history right here in Sydney.
Yeah, they sure do. Good evening, guys. They're due to touch down shortly after booking the first spot in Saturday night's Asian Cup final at Accor Stadium. With last night's semi-final against China in Perth deadlocked at 1-1, a moment of individual brilliance from the inspirational Aussie captain secured our spot in the decider. Leaving Perth with tickets to Sydney bound for Asian Cup glory. Sam Kerr put the nail in China's coffin.
Kerr forward, great run from Sam Kerr. She can just reach the touch. The return pass, well, that's perfection.
Threading a tiny gap from a near impossible angle.
And the crowd love it.
Putting this golden generation into their first international final since 2018. Emily Van Egmond's 170th Matildas cap, the most ever.
It's right up there. I mean, I can't believe it. I honestly can't believe it.
Coach Joe Montemuro loved Kerr's finish, but preferred the team build-up of Caitlin Ford's goal.
Obviously, the first one is very much to my liking. The second one was a bit of a transition moment, but Sam was amazing to finish it.
A controversial yellow card on Mackenzie Arnold had Australia on the ropes, 1-1.
Sends Mackenzie Arnold the wrong way.
In the 58th minute, from deep in our half, Kerr struck gold.
That's why she's a world-class player. You can be quiet for 89 minutes.
Tonight, they're Sydney-bound, ready to claim the first trophy since the 2010 Asia Cup, when Kerr was just 16 years old, playing the winner of tonight's clash between Japan and South Korea this Saturday.
These girls are like family to me, so it would be a dream come true.
Tom Sacre, 7 News.
For more on Sydney's wet weather, Angie Asimus joins us now. Angie, the rain picked up again this afternoon.
It did, Ange. Lighter totals today, but yes, it was a fairly miserable Wednesday. Here's a closer look at that intense downpour that swept across Sydney overnight. As we heard, a lot of rain recorded, in addition to that 130 millimetres at Mossman. Plenty of totals, around 90 millimetres in the suburbs, including Randwick in the east and Lambie in the north, and 52 millimetres to the west at Penrith and on the central coast at Gosford. So this really was widespread. That change also had an impact on temperature, from tops in the 30s yesterday. It took a long while to even warm up to 23 degrees in the city today, close to 3 p.m, and 26 was the top in our west. More storms are a chance tonight. I'll have all the latest warnings a little bit later. Mark and Ange.
We'll see you then, Angie. Thank you. Public transport in high demand next. Sell the car, work from home. Sydney-siders making moves to beat punishing petrol prices.
Truck driver charged. New details about the Belfield wipeout.
A positive message after a heartbreaking health update from a former Australian of the Year.
Later, the famous Sydney pub finally sold after 4 years on the market.
And after sport, the time-saving app making parking a breeze at the beach. Welcome back. A teenager has been charged over the gangland murder of 38-year-old Abdullah Bassar inside his Lidcombe apartment on Monday morning. The 19-year-old was arrested last night after police found cable ties, gloves and clothing inside a car at a Leichhardt shopping centre. 3 men have now been charged, including 21-year-old Alpay Albayir, who was arrested in Ermington hours after the shooting.
The man accused of being behind the wheel of this truck during a rampage through Western Sydney is now behind bars. The 39-year-old was only released from hospital this afternoon after allegedly leaving a trail of destruction through Lakemba and Belfield yesterday. His lawyer fronting court today where he was formally refused bail.
It is what it is, and we'll deal with it in the appropriate fashion when we know more.
The truckie is facing a string of charges, including driving under the influence of drugs.
The rising price of petrol across Sydney has been matched by a sharp increase in the use of public transport.
New figures obtained by 7 News show thousands of Sydney-siders are swapping their cars for trains and buses to ease the impact on household budgets.
As fuel prices climb, commuters are stepping out of the car and tapping on to public transport. In mid-February, before the war broke out, there were 2.3 million workday trips across the public transport network, climbing to above 2.4 million last week, with more than 46,000 more trips occurring over just 3 weeks. The Metro even recording its biggest commuter day on record.
You can cut costs if you're worried about the cost of fuel by jumping on the train, jumping on the Metro, getting to work smoothly, saving a little bit of money in the meantime.
As a war raging thousands of kilometres away changes daily habits on Sydney streets.
I was thinking about selling my car actually. I don't really need it as much.
Maybe not do a long road trip.
I still drive, but just driving less.
Those who drive for a living, however, are feeling the pinch, with taxi drivers now calling on the state government to bring forward its annual assessment of meter rates to account for the recent petrol spike.
If we could take away the cost, that means it will make it easier for the operators, but also takes the burden away from the travelling public.
Uber hasn't changed its rates for drivers, but is actively monitoring conditions as they evolve, as the cost to fuel up trickles down. Taylor Aiken, 7 News.
Former Australian of the Year and cancer researcher Professor Richard Scolyer has given a heartbreaking update on his fight, saying his brain tumour has progressed. He's currently participating in the Tour de Cure, telling Mark Beretta on Sunrise he's grateful to still be active and contributing to the fight against cancer.
I'm very pleased
You're
and
a miracle.
happy that I can still be doing stuff, but I guess down the track, we'll make the most of life, try and make a difference as long as I can.
Professor Scolyer says the glioblastoma, which he was diagnosed with in 2023, is now affecting his brain function. Plenty more still to come on Sydney 7 News. Exclusive, the fight that landed former NRL star Curtis Scott behind bars. His side of the story next.
Power out as a Greystanes car crash turns explosive.
Royal Rumble, the King under pressure to cancel his big US trip.
The link between dementia and our strangest dreams.
Cheers and tears as our Winter Paralympians arrive home.
More than a job, how Julie's bringing heart and soul to the weekly shop.
And ahead in sport, Cam Serraldo's stern words for disgruntled Bulldog Bronson Cherry.
Fuel relief's here. This week, 7 News is giving away $20,000 worth of petrol nationwide. Jump onto 7news.com.au/free fuel now and enter tonight's code word SERVO for your chance to win a $250 voucher. And be watching tomorrow for another chance to enter.
Welcome back. Ex-NRL star Curtis Scott is preparing to fight charges after being accused of assaulting a teenager and 2 police officers on a night out.
He claims there are 2 sides to the story and says he was just protecting his family.
A fiery feud after the footy. At the centre, ex-NRL star Curtis Scott and his mother. He's accused of assaulting an 18-year-old near the SCG following Saturday night's Swans-Lions game.
Hi Curtis, anything you'd like to say?
Not obviously yet, so it's been a rough few days.
He's been charged with assault. His alleged victim left with serious facial injuries.
He needs to have his come to Jesus moment. I'm not commenting on whether he's guilty or not guilty.
The 29-year-old also accused of assaulting 2 police officers, but it was all smiles when he was granted bail today.
You relieved to be out on bail?
Yeah, I am, of course. Rough night, that one.
The former Raiders player turned professional boxer has a history of violence and run-ins with police. He was dropped from the club in 2021 over assault charges that were later thrown out, and he successfully sued police for unlawful arrest in 2020.
Don't resist, mate.
Don't resist.
Obviously, I'm going to get painted as a bad guy all the time, but in this case, there's definitely 2 sides of this story.
Curtis Scott's lawyer said he recently suffered a sporting concussion which could have contributed to his alleged violence. He'll undergo testing for brain damage, and as part of his bail conditions, he mustn't attend the SCG.
It wasn't a random attack.
He's back in court next month. His mother has also been charged over the brawl. Inga Nielsen, 7 News.
There might be more to strange dreams than you think. A new study has found adults in their 60s who experience frequent disturbing dreams are almost 4 times more likely to develop dementia. The correlation wasn't found outside that age group, and researchers admit more work is needed to understand the link.
King Charles is under pressure to cancel his visit to the US for the 250th anniversary of American independence. Donald Trump is loudly voicing his irritation with the UK. Coupled with the war in Iran and the Epstein scandal, His Majesty could be facing a diplomatic incident.
St Patrick's Day on one side of the Atlantic. Princess Kate hands out sprigs of shamrock. On the other, in front of Ireland's Prime Minister, Donald Trump takes his latest swipe at Britain's Prime Minister.
Winston Churchill. And, unfortunately, Keir is not Winston Churchill.
An awkward Oval Office moment like this, precisely what the palace is looking to avoid during His Majesty's all but confirmed US visit next month.
I do look forward to seeing the King.
It was just yesterday when Donald Trump appeared to confirm King Charles was going ahead with his state visit to the US. But with the backdrop of a diplomatically divisive war in Iran, British MPs are calling for the trip to be delayed or cancelled.
If you go to the US, it looks like you're not only supporting Donald Trump, but you're supporting Donald Trump's policies.
The added element of jeopardy, the US president's ties to Jeffrey Epstein, the very thing that saw the king exile his brother Andrew. A process nearing completion with moving trucks arriving at his new home, Marsh Farm. But despite these potential pitfalls, the royal visit is expected to go ahead.
I think it will, because the alternative is to cancel it, and cancelling it really puts the so-called special relationship between the UK and the USA right in the bin.
In London, Ben Downey, 7 News.
Our winter Paralympians landed to a hero's welcome at Sydney Airport this morning with cheers from a sea of green and gold fans. Plenty of fanfare for the Australian star of Cortina, Ben Tudhope. The 26-year-old overcame a dislocated shoulder to win silver in the snowboard cross and bronze in the banked slalom.
Yeah, welcome home. A game changer for new mums. Next, Australia's world-first test to predict postpartum depression.
Neutral Bay's famous Oaks Hotel finally sold.
Australia's $80 billion online spending spree.
And soon in sport, no fly zone. The Swans gear up for an MCG blockbuster without Isaac Heaney.
Hello. AusPost says online shoppers are clicking add to cart like it's going out of fashion, with online shopping growing almost 14% over 12 months, with Australians spending $82 billion online in 2025. Individual purchases are cheaper, but we're making far more of them. Big leadership moves at big resources companies. Brandon Craig was named CEO of BHP, replacing Mike Henry and bringing 25 years of experience at the company in operational and corporate leadership roles. Woodside also has a new CEO, with acting boss Liz Westcott now the permanent replacement for Meg O'Neill at Australia's biggest oil and gas producer. On the markets, the ASX 200 closed up as oil prices paused and attention turns to the United States' upcoming interest rate decision, the Aussie dollar buying 71 US cents.
There were plenty of sparks on a grey-stained street when a car took a bend on Old Prospect Road at speed before rolling and crashing into a power pole. While it knocked out electricity to the area, no one was injured. It's a devastating disorder that strikes mothers without warning. But what if doctors could predict postpartum depression before it happens?
A Queensland scientist believes she's done just that with a world-first test she hopes could even prevent it.
By the time mothers learn they have it, it's often too late to do much about it.
Like a ton of bricks that fell on me. I just didn't know where to go.
Postpartum depression, the thief of joy bursting the newborn baby bubble. If a test could tell you before having a child, would you take it?
When can I take it? I'm a very data-driven person, and having as much knowledge available to me is power.
The partners themselves who come to me and say, even if my partner or my wife doesn't want to know, I want to know because I want to be able to be there for her.
Dr. Clarissa Yates is a scientist and a mother who went through this twice and wanted to know why.
I was trying to understand the relationship between the brain and the blood.
By analysing blood samples from pregnant women at the Mater Hospital, she identified a panel of 12 proteins that predict postpartum depression with 94% accuracy. Now work is underway to turn those findings into a mainstream routine blood test so women will know if they're at risk from as early as 6 months pregnant.
If these mums are flagged early in their pregnancy, they may not go on to develop postpartum depression. A lot of the interventions you can do is really quite simple.
The test could be available as early as next year. Amanda Abate, 7 News.
The Oaks Hotel in Neutral Bay has just sold for $140 million. That's the second highest price ever paid for a Sydney watering hole, but still well short of the $170 million asking price when it hit the market 4 years ago. It's been owned by the Thomas family for half a century, and they'll hand the key to another long-time hotel family, the Gallaghers, next month. Helping Sydney drivers find free parking. Still to come, the app saving time and money, especially if you're headed to the beach. Your exclusive first look.
And from colourful cuisine to tasty treats at the Royal Easter Show. Don't miss those stories soon on 7 News. But first, Tom is back with Sport and Tom. The Bulldogs coach has a bone to pick with Bronson Xerri.
Yeah, he does. Hello again, guys. Cameron Ciraldo's not happy with the way his centre spat the dummy after being dropped. Details next. Plus, the other South swinger emerging from Alex Johnston's shadow. Campbell Graham fighting fit after a horror run of injuries. And if the golden slipper fits, champion jockey James McDonald stares down his own Alex Johnston moment at Rose Hill. Bulldogs coach Cameron Ciraldo can't hide his disappointment at Bronson Xerri's reaction to being dropped from the NRL side. Ciraldo insists the 25-year-old can work his way back into first grade, provided he puts his best foot forward in the New South Wales Cup.
The Bulldogs shirts say it all. We before me, club first, team second, individual third. That's been a hard lesson for Bronson Xerri.
There's plenty of people in the NRL that have reactions that they regret and probably feel like they could have reacted better, and that happens nearly every day in an NRL club. And Bronson might have had one of those moments.
His reaction to being dropped sparking rumours he wants out of the club altogether. It started with a shift in position, moved from left centre to right to accommodate the captain.
Critter, who has been a left centre in the past, got an opportunity to go back over to the left, and Ari did a lot of time on the right. And we did like the look of that, which was for the majority of pre-season.
Now Cameron Ciraldo's best team is one that doesn't have him in it.
It wasn't based purely on the performance against the Dragons, but probably another number of other factors around training and preparation and things like that.
The coach insisting the 25-year-old can work his way back to the NRL side. That begins in New South Wales Cup against Canberra, where he might be able to take a lesson from opposition centre Matt Tomoko, who's been dropped from the Raiders in favour of Simi Sasagi.
The way he handled it is pure Matty Tomoko. It was, we all hear this team first attitude, team first culture. Well, you can only display it when there's adversity on you.
Jaleesa Apps, 7 News.
Having endured more than his fair share of hardship, Campbell Graham's one of the feel-good stories of the early rounds. After 2 seasons wrecked by injuries, the winger's back to his best and grateful to Souths for getting him through some very dark days.
The left winger at Souths, now with his very own statue, is quite rightly getting all the plaudits. But there's a great story unfolding on the right flank too. After 2 long years of injury torment, Campbell Graham is back.
The kick, Graham, brilliant! That is brilliant!
There was some tough times for sure, some, long days, long weeks, long months ahead of me, and, I'm lucky that I'm at a club where they give you great care.
With 3 tries in the opening fortnight, Graham's back to the kind of form that had him vying for a Blues debut before it all came crashing down. Surgery to repair a serious sternum issue saw him miss all of 2024. Last year, a broken hand in pre-season was followed by a calf strain, then season-ending back surgery after just 11 games.
I want to give a shout out to the medical staff too. Did everything they could to get me physically and mentally in a good place, and that's what makes it so satisfying when you come back from these injuries.
The Rabbitohs take on West Tigers in Gosford on Saturday night. Halfback Jamie Humphries returns from suspension.
He hasn't played too many first grade games, but I feel like everyone is calm when he's on the field, so I think we've missed that the last couple of weeks.
Nick Markham, 7 News.
Swans vice-captain Isaac Heaney won't be risked in tomorrow night's MCG blockbuster against Hawthorn. As Charlie Curnow and fellow Sydney Stars had a light run at the G, Heaney stayed in Sydney due to hamstring tightness suffered in the win over Brisbane.
It's really important with the player that he is that we manage him first. And he was close, but just a little bit too tight.
The game is live tomorrow night on 7. In breaking news, plenty of loud and proud Aussie fans are on hand at the airport to welcome the Matildas back to Sydney. The Aussies defeated China 2-1 in Perth last night to secure the first spot in the Asian Cup final, captain Sam Kerr scoring a stunning match winner. The Matildas play the winner of tonight's clash between Japan and South Korea. Champion trainer Chris Waller wants racegoers to pack Rose Hill on Saturday to see star jockey James McDonald's tilt at history. If J-Mac wins 2 or more of the 5 Group 1 races on Golden Slipper Day, he'll break the Australian record held by the great Damien Oliver.
Trackworks morning shift. James McDonald riding into history.
There's so much excitement around, it's not just about the number.
The champion jockey boasts 128 Group 1 wins, 1 shy of Damien Oliver's record. Racing's equivalent of Alex Johnston breaking Rugby League's try-scoring record, or Buddy Franklin's 1,000 goals.
It really is an amazing story if it could be achieved.
Waller and McDonald prepping Hot Chance Fireball in the $5 million Golden Slipper.
He's trained by Chris and he'll have him peaking on the right day with blinkers on.
Stablemate Autumn Glow in the $1 million George Ryder Stakes, seeking 11 straight wins, on track to emulate Wondermare Winks.
Have we seen her get to her highest level? I don't think we have.
Waller and J-Mac also combining with top contender Aliana in the $1 million Randvet Stakes.
On the undercard, but you could say she could headline the day.
Saturday's Golden Slipper meeting at Rose Hill, the biggest Group 1 day in Australian racing. McDonald riding in all 5 Group 1 races. Want to witness some horse racing history? Get your backside, trackside.
Yeah, we need public support, as does any sport.
Andrew McKinlay, 7 News.
Yeah, no storming the track on Saturday. Follow Macca's advice, backside, trackside, and it's all good. Live on 7 as well.
Backside, trackside. I haven't heard that for a while.
Sound good?
Thank
Okay,
you.
thanks, Dom. It is estimated 30% of our city's traffic is caused by people looking for a car park, adding to the frustration, confusing parking signs.
It's now hoped a new app will simplify the process, especially around Sydney's busy beaches.
The ultimate parking puzzle.
There's a bunch of 2-4 hour, bit of everything.
Now a new app designed to make deciphering these far simpler.
Local restrictions, permit zones, loading zones.
Platform Primo Parking clearly outlines the restrictions in play at any time.
In our first week, we've had about 605 streets already logged onto the platform.
It calls for people power, users invited to add the restrictions on their local streets. It can also remind you when your parking is up and let you tip off others to lurking inspectors. As councils rake in millions in parking penalties each year, the City of Sydney, the worst offender, issuing almost $250,000 last year. Tens of thousands of fines worth millions of dollars right across the city.
Before you know it, bang, you cop a good fine there.
Primo already active across the east, it's rapidly expanding west. Next, the northern and southern beaches, soon setting out to predict where parking is busiest.
Be able to work out a colour-coded system and maybe not go there and go somewhere else.
But finding any free street parking could soon be impossible at beaches like Maroubra, La Perouse and here at Coogee, with Randwick Council looking to introduce paid metered parking, only charging those who are visiting the area.
I heard about that, I was like...
Amber Laidler, 7 News.
For many at the Royal Easter Show, the food stalls are just as important as the show bags, and this is what you can expect this year. From rainbow toasties to Pluto pups and deep-fried pickle on a stick, there's plenty to choose from.
We've got our deep-fried scallop chicken burger, so we've swapped buns for the Aussie staple scallops, sandwiched between some chicken, and yeah, it goes great. Lots of deep-fried goodness.
For something a little fancier, food influencer Dim Sim Lim is heading up an Asian-style night food market.
Shopping with a smile on tonight's Bright Side. Next, cheer up on aisle 1, why North Rock's locals are raving about Julie.
And it is shaping up to be a soggy week in Sydney. The detailed forecast next.
7 News Sydney tomorrow at 6. Costco versus Grossco. Sydney's new grocery challenger taking on the American giant.
The most exciting part, we are saving a lot.
Memberships, bulk discounts, where to bag the best savings. On 7 News Sydney tomorrow at 6.
Well, heavy rain overnight eased to lighter totals this afternoon, but certainly no sunny breaks, and that's unlikely to change for quite a while. The clouds and the showers kept a lid on temperatures too. 23, the warmest of it in the city centre today, with mild southerly winds. It was a fairly cool day near the water. 22 at Manly, Cronulla 23, Penrith, Richmond and Badgerys Creek all ended up with 26. Now, this system brought an absolute downpour to Sydney last night, up to 130 millimetres. Storms are a chance again tonight, but right now the main weather warning for heavy rainfall just covers the state's northwest. Ample tropical moisture is pushing into our state at the moment. That's feeding into a surface trough in the northwest and an upper trough over South Australia. So a lot of wet weather about. Around the capital's grey and unsettled for Darwin, Brisbane and for Canberra. Overcast in Melbourne, but no rain. Staying fine for Hobart, Adelaide and Perth. These scattered showers and storms impacting our state are going to continue tomorrow. Heaviest falls looking most likely around the southeast and central east. Wollongong aiming for 23 degrees, 24 on the way for Newcastle. As that wet weather is moving east, you'll see the northwest starts to return to some stability. Back in Sydney tomorrow, cloudy, rain increasing most likely in the afternoon and evening. The chance of storms with those heavy falls again, a top of 25 at Mascot. Cooler inland, Penrith 24 and quite a cool one at Katoomba, just 18. Sydney waters, all very light, variable winds, no stronger than 10 knots, swell around a metre. The CBD, grey, top of 25 as that rain increases throughout the day. We could see more heavy falls, up to 40 millimetres in parts, but again scattered. The intensity of that rain at least eases on Friday, but there's not much sunshine in the mix at all for the week ahead. Grey weekend, lighter showers Monday, Tuesday and into Wednesday. I feel like I should apologise. It's not great,
Not
is
your
it?
fault, Angie.
No, thank you.
Angie,
Thank you.
We're not impressed. Thank you. Now here's Amy Clements with The Bright Side.
Julie Andrews is not just the face of Coles North Rocks.
Love you, Julie. Love you too.
She's the heart and soul of it. And she has many fans.
Love your work, Julie. You're the reason I don't shop at Woolies. She brightens everybody's day.
You are a full-blown celebrity here. Did you ever think your career would turn out like this?
Never in a million years.
What started as her first job has become her second home.
Always good to see you. Good to see you too, darling.
Turns out Coles runs in her blood.
Mum was at Coles and my two sisters, they worked at Coles in Burwood, and Mum's sister, Auntie Grace, she worked there.
We go to swimming on Friday, every Friday, and after Swimming Without Doubt, we come up and visit our friend Julie.
If she doesn't see me, she pops into my house on the way home. I don't know how many people do that just to check up on me. I do.
I'll be devastated when she retires.
But that won't be happening anytime soon.
You're going to be in training?
I always thought I'd make a great checkout chick. Training the next generation in impeccable customer service. Thank you so much, sir.
My pleasure.
I hope you have a lovely day.
You too.
How'd I go?
Go! Fantastic.
Oh, yeah, she's a natural. Big shoes to fill. When
We could do a Julie or two in the newsroom, I think.
We probably could. That is 7 News for this Wednesday. We'll have updates for you throughout the evening.
From all the team, I hope you have a great night.
Good night.